I wrote a book today. I finished writing a book and I wanted to record a video in order to get these feelings and just talk about it down, because it's kind of a lot. Don't worry, the Darkest Dungeon 2 video is still coming. Episode 2 of Dungeons & Dragons Understanding is coming as well. I have just like 30 hours of Darkest Dungeon footage, and so writing the script alone is taking weeks, but it is coming. But I wrote a book. It took way longer than I hoped it would. You know, when I first got medicated for ADHD, it kind of changed everything. Like, I had so much energy and I could focus. There's that little Fairly Odd Parents glasses meme instead of like, I can see it. I can think, I can write. You know, my ex-girlfriend, or my girlfriend at the time, she was really happy for me. And she was trying to help me channel that into something. And I finally wrote down one of my ideas, and it was Strawberries. You know, Strawberries was a D&D character I wanted to play, and that was the story of Strawberries, was his backstory, and it was good. And then I decided to write down more ideas, and then all these things started falling into place, and I picked up music again, and the idea of, you know, that lie adults tell you when you're little, that whole, you can do anything if you set your mind to it. Yeah, that wasn't a lie. I found that one out. And that's kind of a lot. But I wrote a book. It's pretty terrible right now, because it's in a first draft, and it's the first major writing thing I've done, but, you know, everything should be bad when you finish it, because that means you improved somewhere along the way, right? I mean, maybe not quite. It's nice. It's a nice saying and all, but it doesn't quite. The book. It's part of a series. It was one of my craziest ideas. Essentially, it's several books, each telling their own different story with different characters, but there is a single thread hidden amongst all of them, with like little codes and little nods and anagrams and things like that for you to try and figure it out. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm not going to do any of that stuff where it's like, you don't have to know other languages, you don't have to know weird Latin stuff, you don't have to look up the constellations. Everything to figure out the puzzle will be in the books themselves. Anytime there's like a special edition release, there won't be any new secrets. I want it so you don't need to be on a Discord or whatever. You can just have the book, and if you care enough, you can figure out the puzzle. I'm probably going to use Morse code and binary, because those are just awesome, and you can't do anything with them. Those are just too good to pass up. But for the most part, you just have to figure it out. And also, something that's really great is that the stories themselves are fine without the meta-narrative. They're just good books. I've always loved meta-narratives and using structure to influence how a story is told, like the method of storytelling influencing the story. I've always loved that. The working title of the series is called The Unspoken Series, with the tagline, "Can you hear the story left unspoken?" You know, and the little, can you notice the underlying storyline? So, you know, I think that's cool, cute. Inspired by Dungeons & Dragons, because of course they are. I mean, it's me we're talking about. There's no clowns in them yet, so not completely par for the course of me, but you know, there's still time. Book 1, the one I just finished, is called In Their Footsteps Flowers Grew. It's the story of a conscious forest who has been near devastated by human activity or people activity, because, you know, fantasy races. And the story of a man who lives in that forest, an arborist who's tasked with rehabilitation, and the long relationship of trauma, recovery, forgiveness, the relationship between humanity and nature. It's quite profound. I'm really proud of it. It has some of my most favorite lines in there. Some of my favorite stuff I've ever written. My most favorite line is from a poem I wrote about making cookies, and it's just, I lick the spoon, because I think that's very human. I'm a fan of humanity stuff, but prose-wise, this one had my favorite line, which was, it's the proposal scene between the man and his to-be wife. It's like a summer scene, twilight, they've had a picnic and all that shit. He proposes, and it's this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. And the line specifically is, fireflies make mortal constellations, and so they danced among the stars. And I think that's nice, right? So that's book one. I can't go into the other books. I would love to. Even the titles are beautiful, but there's secret stuff going on. And, I can't spoil that. But yeah, I wrote a book. There's countless of people that, all I always is like, oh, I should write a book someday, or oh, I should take up poetry, or whatever. I did it. I officially did it. The book's not great, but the main goal that was keeping me going was I needed to finish. I needed it to be done, because that's the biggest hurdle, is finishing it, and I did it. It's done. I haven't read it, which is weird. You would think if you wrote it, you'd read it, but it's been taking me like a year and a half, so don't remember every scene. But it's got some good stuff in there, and I really hope people read it, especially because I have a TV show that's related, which is honestly kind of my favorite project, and it would suck if I wasn't able to get it off the ground floor. Because one of the main selling points I'm going to give that to TV producers is, one of the main selling points is, hey, look how wonderful D&D is, and how successful Legend of Vox Machina did. And then the second one's going to be, I already have a pre-established fan base. People already give a shit. So we won't have to get fans, we have fans. But hopefully people read it. If nobody does, I'll care, but it won't matter, because I wrote a book. Maybe I'll get to be John and Hank Green someday. I would love to be rich and famous. I really would. I would love to hang out with all the dropout people. I would love to have my own production company to put out movies and TV shows and books and music and all this stuff. I would love to help other people put out their stuff so they can chase their dreams as well. I would love to just be out there and know I was heard and get to share all these crazy ideas I have in the shower with people. But if I don't, that's okay. I'll get a job like I have now, and I'll just keep writing and making, because I like doing it. I fell back in love with humanity while writing this. And of course, people are rough around the edges. There's a lot of edges to be rough around. Just, aren't we amazing? We're like the only sentient beings, so everything, little and small, viewed through the lens of us, because we're the people viewing it, it's just all amazing. Thanks for watching. Sorry video hasn't been out in a while. I've been trying to do this Darkest Dungeon video, and it's hard, and I am now operating with the promise I won't burn myself out. Sustainability is a big thing, which is unfortunately hard to do when you do this all on your own. But we're getting there. Thanks so much. Read the book when it comes out.